Okay, part 2, 8th grade. We have this doghouse here. How do we figure out what x is? So you're going to add these two numbers up. You can even use a calculator. I don't care. And you're going to then find what the angle is. 86 plus 47 equals 133. So if we have 133, that means x plus 133 will equal 180 because the interior angles of the triangle all add up to equal 180. So you minus this. You don't have to put this work. This is just what your brain's doing. Last lesson, I did exactly this without making it look like an algebra problem, so I don't care. So now you take 180 and you minus 133. Obviously, you could do this with pencil and paper or in your head. We're pressed for time. 47, okay? So the angle is 47. If you're handwriting it, don't forget to put the little degrees, okay? All right. The next one, it's talking about on page 396, you could use ratios. If triangle ABC, we want to find the angles of each. We know it's going to add up to 180 because the sum of angle measures in a triangle is 180. We will look at the ratios, 1 and 4 and 5, 1 to 4 to 5. So if the measure of B is 4 times greater, 4x represents 4 times greater. And the measure of C is 5 times greater, so 5 times, and then just 1x. You might be wondering, why aren't they like x, y, z? Because if we're adding up to equal 180, they all have to be the same variable, don't they? One can't be y and one can't be x because then those technically, according to regular algebra, don't add up. But these ones do because they're all x's. So that's why, if you're confused, like, well, wait, it said triangle XYZ and triangle ABC, why aren't these ABC? Just to keep it simple, because if it was an A, a B, and a C, you wouldn't be able to add those up. So they're just using X to represent the numbers, not the labels of the corners, the vertex, or vertices, because there's more than one. So solve the equation. So if you know there's 1x, and 4x and 5x, you just add them up. That's 10x. See, we couldn't have done that if that was A and B and C. It would still be A and B and C. That's why. So 10x. So what do we do here? Well, you have to divide because that's a multiplication problem. So you divide by 10, and that will cancel each other out to equal 1x, so just x. And then 180 divided by 10, you'll get 18. So since x is 18, all right, so we know that the ratio, just one of those, is 18. So this guy's 18. So what's 4 times 18? Well, that will be what angle B is. And what's 5 times 18? Well, that will be what angle C is. Okay, so if you're going to do it over here, I'm not going to do the entire problem, but 1 to 2 to 5. So it's going to be like 1x times, well, let me just do this, x plus 2x plus 5x. So I did that, equals 180. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8. So that equals 8x equals 180. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Okay, you use your calculator. And then you would get it down to be x equals, and then the answer to this. And then that would be whatever 1x is. So, well, we got time. Let me just do it real quick. We got some time. 180 divided by 8, 22.5. So that would mean one of the angles is 22.5 there, okay? And then the next ratio is 2x. So what's 2 times that? So we take this number times 2, and that's what the next one is. So it's 45. So then we have a 45. And then let's just go back, clear it out, 22.5 times 5 was the next ratio. You get 112.5. 112.5. So that means the triangle should have one huge angle, like that, one middle angle, and one tiny angle. If you add up all these together, you should get 180, and that's how you know you're correct. So 112.5 plus one of the ones was 45, plus 22.5. Boom, 180. That means you did it right. Okay, that is how to figure out the interior angles. So I'm going to jump ahead before we get into the next part. I'm going to jump to page 403. And we're going to do some practice problems. We need to find the value of x in each object. So we're going to start with this. If we have 30 and 30, what's that equal? 60. 60 degrees. So we know that this whole triangle equals 180. Okay, so 60 plus x, the angle of x, will get us to 180. So we take 180 and we're going to minus 60. You do not need to show all this work. I'm just showing it for you, okay? So 140. So this guy should be 140 degrees. X is 140 degrees. We use the interior angles. Over here, if we want to find what this sailboat is, what does this box mean again? 90 degrees. So we have 90 degrees plus 40 degrees. What does that equal? 130 degrees. So x plus 130 equals 180 because the triangle equals 180 total from the interior. Minus 130 from 180. So what's that? We're going to have 50. Okay? X equals 50 degrees. Okay. I'm going to pause here and then we're going to come back for part 3, which will be about exterior angles.